understand what Agile mindset is, understand what the Scrum Master role is.
Hello there, it's Erica, the founder of Pocketboard, a marketplace for mentorship where you can find a mentor to help you navigate your current career goals and get where you want to be faster. Today, I'm sitting down with Agile Transformation and Agile coach Ankit Mahajan to get the inside scoop on Scrum Master interview questions and answers. Ankit is a Pocketboard mentor. He's also a lean agile leader who's worked with companies like Accenture, Abbott, Discover, BCBS, and US Bank to lead their agile transformation journeys. Today, we're going to cover the 5 most common interview questions and answers for Scrum Master interviews, so you can get a sense of what you'll be asked in your next Scrum Master interview, as well as some strong answer examples that will help you see how you can pass your interviews. Make sure you stick around till the end to hear Ankit's top 3 resume hacks to get your foot in the door and land your next Scrum Master interview. With that, I'll hand it over to Ankit.
I'm an Agile Transformation and career coach. I have helped many organizations in their Agile Transformation journeys and hundreds of people in their career transition and up-leveling their career for Agile roles.
I'd like to kick off each podcast episode with a couple of fun facts about the topic. So I'm going to ask you a question and see if you know the answer. Do you know approximately how many Scrum Masters are in the world? If you're listening, try to get an estimate of your own, and then we'll hear what Ankit thinks.
Maybe around 200K.
Correct order of magnitude, as of 2021, according to scrum.org, there were 779,400 certified Scrum Masters in the world.
Wow.
In the next 5 years, there will probably be 1 million Scrum Masters in the world. So it's obviously a growing profession.
I have a fun fact. Most of the people who are playing the role of the Scrum Master, they were either business analysts, developers, QA leads, project managers, program managers in their past life. And if you want to pivot into Scrum Master career path, you can.
There are quite a few roles where like the previous experience that you have is really important. For example, it's a lot easier to become a product manager if you've been a software engineer or a hardware engineer in that field, because you understand the day-to-day work of engineers. And so you're better able to size your project, scope out features, you have more of a technical understanding. So what I'm hearing from you is that the vast majority of Scrum Masters have deep previous career experience, and then they make the pivot into Scrum Master roles.
Now these roles are available for the non-technical teams and the non-technical domains as well.
Let's dive right into the questions. The way we're going to do this is as a role play. So I'm going to be the hiring manager for the role, and Ankit is going to be a Scrum Master with a few years of Scrum Master experience. I'm going to ask the question. He's going to give you a great answer, and then we'll go through each of these 5 questions so you can get a really clear view of what your Scrum Master interview might look like. Everyone's favorite interview kickoff question, the one that I talk about all the time in my interview coaching practice, is tell me about yourself and why do you want this role as a Scrum Master?
I started my career as a business analyst at Accenture India, followed by my first job in Chicago as a senior business analyst with Abbott. That was the first time when I noticed Scrum team who were standing by the wall every day for 15 minutes doing daily huddles. And I would always wonder, what are they doing? I was really intrigued. I interacted with my colleagues, checked on Google. Upon learning about this topic, I realized that this role aligns with my true calling of serving teams, process improvement, creating transparency, collaboration, alignment, basically all the agile values I was already representing as part of my personality, work ethics, and experience. And that's when I decided to leave my comfort zone and to pursue this new and challenging role that gave me a bigger purpose of serving teams, reducing waste, and making incremental improvements. That's how my journey started as a Scrum Master. I understand that your organization is new to Agile and going through Agile transformation. And there is a lot of focus from the top leadership in modernizing the way software development is done or work is done in general, so that your organization can respond to ever changing market conditions and customer needs in the best possible way. Since I've already done it in my last organization, and my last organization has already reached a certain level of maturity, I see this as an opportunity where I can help you and your organization to move ahead in the agile transformation journey.
One of the things that Ankit did really well was expressing his passion and enthusiasm for the role. Don't underestimate how important this is when you're making a first impression with the hiring manager or anyone on the team. He started his answer with, "Here's how I became passionate about this." And he ended his answer with, "This is why I'm so excited to do this at your company." I have no doubts in my mind that if I hire Ankit for this role, he is going to be engaged and motivated in his work. That is an invaluable message to get across in your answer to tell me about yourself and why do you want to work here. Second thing that he did really well is he made it very clear what his past experience was. He quantified it in some ways, and he made it clear that he was ready to bring those learnings, that process, those systems, and his approach, his expertise into this role. Those are two things that I noticed. Ankit, is there anything else that you are doing in your answer that you want to suggest that other people do as they're interviewing for Scrum Master roles?
If you're applying for the Scrum Master role and you do not have that experience, you would have to speak about what are some of the steps that you have taken to understand that role and helping the Scrum Master who's already in your team. What are some of the initiatives you have done? How well you understand the agile mindset and the agile values? So you will have to correlate your past experience. You can say, I was working as a business analyst and I have been helping my Scrum Master with A, B, and C. When my Scrum Master was out of office, I served that team for a period of 1 month. And that's when I developed my passion for becoming a Scrum Master.
I always tell people who are interviewing for roles they haven't done before that it's always about mapping to your past experience. So take the job description, highlight the core concepts, map them directly to your past experience so that you connect that in your own mind. And then when you're asked about your past experience, you're always mapping it forward to the role that you're actually interviewing for. So great tip. Let's move on to our next question. Please take a moment to like this video to cheer us on. And while you're there, go ahead and subscribe to the Pocketboard channel and make sure you ring the bell to get notified every time we push out a new video that can help you with your career. Tell me what is going to be your approach to ramping up on the team and getting them productive.
So my approach is going to be here comprising of series of steps. And the first and the most important step is I would definitely set up one-on-one with all of my team members to learn about their backgrounds, their experiences, their preferences in a more detailed way. Because before even I can become a Scrum Master for the team or a change agent, trust is the most important thing. That would be my focus for the first week. I will analyze and accordingly I'll schedule Agile 101 training or coaching sessions depending upon where they are and where I think there are some of the gaps that can be addressed. So after those knowledge sessions, I will review with the team whether they have team agreement in place, whether they have definition of ready in place, whether they have definition of done in place. And even if they have those things in place, how confident they feel about it, how well they understand it. Then I would also like to review some of their retrospective notes. What are some of the improvement opportunities that have been identified in the past retrospectives? What action have we taken for some of those? What are some of those items where they think we should focus on more in the coming sprints? If there are no retrospectives, I like to create that backlog of improvement in the coming future. I would also like to look at their metrics. Predictability, disruption metrics can give me pointers to identify some of the improvement opportunities that I can review with the team.
Ankit has done a couple of things that are really helpful. One thing is that he's made it really clear that he has a process for this. When you're hiring, you really want to see someone who's going to come in and have a plan for how they're going to do their job. Ankit, is there anything else about your answer that you want to make sure that listeners zoom in on?
I would like to add having some team activity, icebreakers, one-on-one interactions are great. Those are helping in building my relationship with the team members. But how about the relationship of the team overall? To take it to the next level, I would definitely like to have some fun activities where all of us can come together because at the end of the day, Agile and Scrum is about the team mindset. And these activities help in taking that mindset to the next level where we help each other, where we can collaborate without any inhibition. I would like to add that to my answer that I just gave.
I think it's really important that people, when they're practicing for interviews, do exactly what you just did. I call it metacognition, but it's really all about reflecting on what you would improve. And one of the best ways of doing this is actually recording yourself, like we're doing right now, playing it back and saying, hey, how could I make that better? It connects your brain's interpretation of how you did with the improvement area. So the next time you answer that question, whether it's in a peer mock or actually in the interview, you're making sure that you add on those things that really matter that were missing from your first response. Third question. You mentioned a couple of key metrics. Can you walk me through the key metrics that you focus your Scrum teams on?
It's a controversial topic as well. So I would begin by saying this that metrics are just indicators of the problem and may not necessarily tell us what the problem is. So we should be cautious while using any matrix to arrive at any judgment. And I'll emphasize, let us make sure that matrix is not used to penalize any team. It is only used to identify opportunities for improvement because we have to move ahead with an assumption or a trust that everyone has a good intention. So what is the root cause behind that matrix? Some of the matrix that I focus on are velocity of the team, predictability, sprint disruption, cycle time, lead time. There is an unending list, but these are the main metrics I would say that you can track over a period of a sprint, over a period of month, quarter, and so on. Example, if every sprint I see that sprint disruption is more than 20%, that means that team sprint plan is being changed mid-sprint. So I would speak with the product owner and the team to understand the causes behind that sprint disruption. What can be done so that we do not disrupt this plan? So if every week or 2 weeks we continue to change 20% of a plan after planning it, we are kind of creating a waste. And there can be reasons behind it. Maybe we do not know exactly what is our 100% of the plan, and that is completely fine. We can plan for 80% of our capacity and have 20% as buffer for the unknown work, which is yet to be prioritized. But prioritizing 100% always and then changing that plan 20% or more in the middle of the sprint may not be that productive. Another example of matrix I would give is if there is a team where predictability of the team is less than 50%, definitely there's a problem. I would like to speak with the team members and understand what is their viewpoint. Why are we planning for more work than what we can accomplish? Is there any external pressure? Is it that we are overcommitting? So, what's wrong here? Why are we not realistic about our capacity? What are we gaining by planning more work and shipping out less work? So, what is good for our morale is that we plan for, let's say, 10 units of work and we are able to do maybe nine, maybe eight. I just gave you example of two metrics, predictability and sprint disruption, how they can help us to identify hidden problems for the team and the way we are working.
There are a few things that Ankit did there that I thought were really good. One thing is he expressed a number of different metrics. So he kind of started with the reason why metrics matter. And then he gave me kind of a buffet table of different metrics that he thinks are important to measure for Scrum teams. But then he actually dived in and gave specific examples of two different metrics problems, why they're a problem, and how he would resolve them on the team. Keep in mind that in a typical interview, you're going to want to keep your questions a little bit tighter and much shorter than this, but Ankit is trying to show you how you could bring any one of those metrics into the interview and actually express what you would do if the metric was at a certain value or if it needed to be improved or reduced in some way. I thought that Ankit did a really good job of helping me understand all of the different metrics that he was going to measure and then giving me an example of how he's measured a metric, identified that it was problematic, and resolved it with the team. Fourth question. Ankit, tell me about a time when you failed as a Scrum Master.
I would rephrase the word failure as an opportunity for learning and growth. Failure is nothing but a learning opportunity, so we shouldn't get disappointed. The specific scenario, while working for one of the biggest health insurance providers, I recall being a scrum master and a coach for one of the teams where all the developers were from a vendor or product that was being implemented by this health insurance company. The developers came from the product company, but the product owner and testers were employees. Due to the nature of contract between the vendor and our organization, we only had lead developer onshore, and that was the only person I could interact with from this product development team. And rest of the developers were offshore. There was this constant challenge of conflict, collaboration, lack of transparency, low predictability, and quality of work. I tried my best to work with a vendor and coach them about what changes should be done in our way of working. And after that, I saw improvement in collaboration, transparency, quality. What happened after 3 months was dev lead, who I was providing all this coaching and in turn, he was coaching all his team members in India. He changed and a new dev lead came over and the same problems resurface again. I learned from this model of working that vendor development may not work unless we do our due diligence as part of contract agreement with vendor about the level of quality, transparency, collaboration that we expect from them.
There's a few things that I thought Ankit did really well there. One thing is admitting that failure is part of the process. There is no such thing as being perfect. And if that is the goal, you are always going to fail. So he expressed a growth mindset. He expressed openness. He didn't balk at the question, which I actually see candidates do every day. So embracing failure as a part of life, and then embracing, of course, the process of learning from the failure as the most important aspect of failing gracefully. I thought that Ankit did that exceptionally well. And then, of course, he didn't shy away from diving into an example where he had failed to understand that there was a problem at the contract level that was trickling down into the day-to-day work. A lot of Scrum Masters work across continents. They work globally. And so this problem that he identified, this like learning that he shared, is something that all of you will likely experience at some point in your Scrum Master careers. So as the hiring manager, I'm like, oh yeah, we have that same problem. I've had that exact same problem of really needing to fix our contracting process, our statement of work, and the way we're operating with our vendors. So I thought he did a great job of showing that he could zoom out, not blame the dev lead, not blame the fact that every new dev lead from this company seems to be broken, but rather saying, oh, the problem is the actual contract is broken. We need to do a better job of vetting our vendors and setting them up for success. So I thought he did an excellent job of embracing failure, giving a real example, and showing that he can zoom out and fix the root of the problem. Ankit, is there anything else you wanted people to hear from that answer?
Based on the feedback that you have been sharing, I must say you are a very kind-hearted hiring manager. So thank you.
It's a little bit hiring manager, a little bit interview coach. So keep in
Yeah.
mind when you are interviewing, you're getting the hiring manager and not the interview coach / hiring manager opinion. I'm really focusing on the things that I want to highlight in Ankit's answers. There are definitely things that all of us do wrong in interviews. And I think focusing on what we're doing wrong as opposed to really leaning into what we're doing well is a mistake. So that's why I'm really highlighting the good things. Last and final question. Ankit, tell me how you would describe the ideal Scrum Master.
An ideal Scrum Master would be passionate about agile ways of working and understand the why behind it, right? If you do not understand the why yourself, the benefit that agile way of working are bringing to the teams, organizations, customers, and the world, how can you teach or coach others to change their way of working? You should understand the difference between being agile and doing agile. Doing agile means we are doing the Scrum events, we are doing sprint planning, we are doing sprint demos, sprint retrospectives. But as a team, we do not respect each other. As a team, we do not collaborate with each other. We are working on so many things. They have been deployed to production, but our customers are not using it. So there is a lot of output, but there is no outcome. It's important that consciously we make a choice of being agile, not just be superficially agile, which is just doing agile. Again, I can have a training session, coaching session. I can say, this is agile, this is Scrum, these are the values, principles. But why should people listen to you? Why should they play this new role of a product owner? Why should they have a stand up? Why should they have a retrospective? So you have to show them the value. And sometimes they will realize the value by not going over the PPT, but by practicing it in their real life. So you have to convince them to try it and show them the real life value. An ideal Scrum Master is courageous enough to challenge or question the status quo. You are a change agent. You're not just a Scrum Master. Often people do this mistake of thinking, I'm a Scrum Master. I just need to facilitate the Scrum events and my job is done. No, you're a change agent for this organization. And you should be courageous enough to question your leaders to improve the overall system because your team is a very small component of an overall system. So you have this important responsibility to have an eye for all the CI opportunities. You need to create or improve transparency, collaboration, alignment within and outside the team as well. Do not limit your role just to the team. If you can do something for the organization, why not? You need to lead by example and show the Scrum values in all your interactions, such as openness, collaboration, transparency, respect. You're always looking to identify and implement how this team can up its game continuously. There is always better than the best. Let us not get complacent. Let's aim for what's next, what's better. World is changing, technology is changing, so we can also improve. I can go on and on because I'm really passionate about this topic, but I think that paints hopefully a good picture or a decent picture of an ideal Scrum Master.
There were a few things there that Ankit did that I want to really highlight. One was that when he's describing his ideal Scrum Master, he started by zooming out. He didn't talk about the ideal Scrum Master, it measures everything. The ideal Scrum Master sets up these type of meetings and processes and systems. He's talked about really what makes the ideal Scrum Master is really their passion for improving the way that people work, for improving the outcomes of the business. So we really started by zooming out. I always like when people really zoom out and show me that they understand how their work actually moves the needle on business outcomes first, and then they can talk about the tactics of the role. So I thought that was really good. The second thing that Ankit did really well is everything that he talked about that was demonstrable in the interview, he has actually done in this interview. In particular, showing his passion, showing his courage, showing that he cares more about actually being agile versus doing agile. All of that is actually things that he has done in this interview process as much as you can show in an interview. So he's reinforcing this idea that he not only knows what the ideal Scrum Master looks like, but also that he might be the ideal Scrum Master, which is what you want your interviewer to get out of this question. So that concludes our top 5 most common Scrum Master interview questions and near ideal answers from our very own Pocketboard mentor and Agile Transformation coach, Ankit Mahajan. As promised at the very beginning, we're going to give you those top 3 resume hacks that get your foot in the door and make sure that you have the opportunity to land your Scrum Master interview. Ankit, let's take it from the top. Tip number 1.
First step is align your prior experience with Scrum Master's role and responsibilities. Understand what Agile mindset is. Understand what the Scrum Master role is. From agilemanifesto.org, you can go through Scrum Guide, check out scrum.org, Scrum Lines. Once you have understood it, think about how you are improving communication, collaboration, alignment in your current role. What are some of the improvement initiatives that you have led? You are able to give concrete examples from your current role that convinces the hiring manager that you understand agile mindset and you have been doing some of those things in your current role. And the second hack I would like to share is focus on agile and scrum values such as collaboration, transparency, courage, respect, openness, commitment, focus. If you are updating your resume, you can say collaborated with so and so on this project, created or improved transparency in XYZ, demonstrated courage by doing XYZ, created a culture of openness. Or if you don't want to do that, even in your summary, like who are you on your resume, you can say, I'm a collaborative person who believes in creating transparency, alignment, openness in the teams and organizations I work with. And the third resume hack would be show quantifiable and qualitative results that you have achieved. Find that number with the help of survey, with the help of your own research, and put it on your resume. Example, improvement in the team morale or customer experience in the form of NPP, Net Promoter Score, CSAT, customer satisfaction score, reduction in the release or product launch timeline, reduction in defects. Again, these are all examples. When a hiring manager or a recruiter looks at your resume, they are more convinced to interview you, to hire you, if they see that this is the concrete impact that you have made in your prior job. And that gives them confidence that if we hire you, you are going to create a similar or better impact in our organization.
I think that it's so important that people realize that both the written form of your career story, which is your resume, and the verbal form of your career story are aligned. And that really starts with mapping your experience to the role that you're trying to get and making sure it shows up in your resume as well as in the way you present yourself in your LinkedIn blurb. When I meet you on an elevator, are you using the same words, nomenclature, and quantifiable results? Sometimes people will come to me as an interview coach and they're like, but I don't actually have these quantifiable numbers. Even if you don't have them, you need them. So if you don't have them, create them. Start now. It's never too late to start collecting the metrics that you need to demonstrate that you have a quantifiable, data-driven approach to your role. We love to end these podcasts with a quick lightning round of items that you have in your Agile Scrum Master toolkit. So let's start at the top. What book do you recommend most in general?
Alchemist was the first book I can remember that I really loved reading. Why it resonated with me is the message was when you really want something, the whole universe conspires you to achieve that. I love that message, and I would like to recommend Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I know you asked for one, but I wanted to add one more book. That would be Atomic Habits by James Clear.
What book do you recommend most for Scrum Masters and Agile enthusiasts in particular?
Start with Why by Simon Sinek. Definitely understanding the why behind their role, why we are doing agile transformation, why do we need it, what problems are we solving. And the second one would be Coaching with Agile Teams by Lisa Atkins.
Top 3 favorite podcasts.
Number one would be On the Purpose with Jay Shetty, where he interviews celebrities, influential people who have made it big, coaches. I like to learn from their life stories and pick up lessons that they're trying to share. Then the second one would be Gaur Gopal Das. It's not exactly a podcast, but Gaur Gopal Das is a spiritual figure, a lot of wisdom, and he's motivating us all with his wit and humor. And third one is Marie Forleo podcast. She talks about business. And what I like about her podcast is they are short and crisp. Even in 15, 20 minutes, she's sharing or talking about a particular topic and you end up learning something new.
One song you could listen to on repeat forever.
Coke Studio, Sufi songs, those are Hindi songs, but they are kind of spiritual and with a lot of messages.
What is your favorite Scrum Master tool of all time?
I would say Microsoft Office, Jira. No, I'm just kidding. Those are not my favorite tools. My favorite tool is our mind, and it enables us to leverage any other tool in this world.
What is the single best piece of advice you've ever received?
There is never a perfect time to begin something, but earlier you begin, faster you can learn. Because often we delay doing something, we are waiting for that perfect moment. We want to make it perfect. You know, days pass by, year pass by. Learn fast. Because if you fail fast, you're going to learn fast.
Last and final question, describe your dream mentee on Pocketboard.
My dream mentee on Pocketwood would be someone who not only has aspirations of up-leveling their career, but also their mindset to learn, put in efforts, be persistent, be curious, passionate to achieve the intended outcomes.
That concludes our lightning round. If you've enjoyed this conversation so far, you will love getting one-on-one mentorship directly from Ankit. You can find him on Pocketboard in the link in the description. And I will also share a bunch of different articles, tools, and free resources that he wanted me to share with you.
I can help people prepare for any agile role, such as Scrum Master, Product Owner, Product Manager, with my coaching and training, including resume review, interview prep, on the job support, and with the challenges and questions that they might be facing in their professional life.
What is one way that listeners who are watching now can help you out to say thank you for all that you've shared with us?
Listeners can help me by connecting with me on LinkedIn and share whatever resonated with them from this podcast. And what are some of the challenges that they're facing in their job search or starting their journey as a Scrum Master, Product Owner, Product Manager? I would like to help them. And they can even check out my Pocketbook profile, which will be in the description of the YouTube video, and book an appointment.
We hope that you have enjoyed this video. Please like the video and subscribe to the Pocketboard channel. Make sure that you ring the bell so that you get notifications every time we drop a new video that can help you navigate your career. Thanks for joining.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer has been beating in my mind along with Last Christmas.
Done. Peace. Yay.